Hello everyone, this is Okoyuko from Dreaded Consulting, and today I'd like to show us how to set up expense approval hierarchy on our Zoho Expense, or let's say a voucher approval hierarchy using Zoho Expense. So what we're seeing currently is the home screen, and in order to be able to set up the approval hierarchy, we need to go onto our settings screen. And to be able to do that, we need to locate where our settings button is. So our settings button is sitting right here in the top right corner of the screen. So when you click on it, then you would want to look for the customization module, right? So on this customization module, then you go to your modules. So when you're onto your module screen, so you look for your reports. So it is right here under the expenses. So you go to your reports. And why we're using reports is because the report is the one that conveys the individual expenses, such that whenever we've raised different expenses, right, and we need like a conveyor, which is the report, to batch all of the expenses we've raised, to batch them together and move it down the approval hierarchy. So now we are going to the report screen to set the approval hierarchy, because it's the report that we do the approvals on. So now this is my report screen. Then I could see the top header. It says preferences, it says fields, then approval. So this is where we're going to. So traditionally, your expense would always come with the hierarchical approval being checked, right? So now we have two approval types that are available. So there's the hierarchical, there's the custom approval. So what the hierarchical approval flow will do is based on the custom presets of the approval that was being granted. When at the point of creating a user, there is a section where you would have to select a role for that user, and that role can either be a submitter, an approval, or any other role that has been specified by you. Then in another section, while you're still trying to invite or create a user, then it's there's a field where you have submit to, right, or approve and forward to. Now all of these is will be discussed in another video, which has to do with how to create a user in the system, or how to invite a user into the system. So now that we already know what hierarchical approval will do, then let's look at what custom approval will do. So a custom approval is a kind of approval flow where you can by yourself select the individuals that you want to get involved in an approval flow for a certain amount, a certain amount of expense or report, so to say. So if you want some certain individuals or some certain head of departments to be able to be involved in approving a certain amount, say maybe there is 100k and above, right? So you want some certain individuals in the organization to be involved in the approval flow of whenever an expense that is above 100k is being raised, then you can select custom approval. So now we want to create a new custom approval, right? So we click on this new custom approval, then approval name. So now let's say this custom approval that I'm trying to set is for whenever the expense or report is over 100,000. So we want to set an approval for that. So say approval for 100,000. Yes, 100,000. Then the description, right? So you can say more about this, just to really express this further. So that's what the description for. So here it says define the criteria, if any. So it is say one. Now when, right? Then when is it the report total or the expense total or the project name or the reimbursable total, right? But what we really want to do is the report total itself. So when the report total is Is it that we want it to be for less than or equals to 100,000, or do you want it to be greater than or equals to 100,000? So I'll basically just go with greater than, because what I'm trying to work on is approval for, okay, 100,000 and above. Yes. So approval for 100,000 and above, right? So I'm selecting when my report total is greater than, yeah, I can now say 100,000. So now it is asking for approvals. So what this here would do is that, um, well, let's just get into it. So it is saying configure approval flow, because we really just want to configure the the users that would get involved in this approval flow for 100,000 and above. So here I would select submit to, right? Now this basically means that whoever is a submitter will be submitting to. Now I need to specify who the submitter will submit to here. So I'll click on this, and it is asking, is it single level of approval, or is it 2 levels, is it 3 levels? So let me go with these 2 levels. So now the little description below this is saying, if A submits to B and B submits to C, the approval flow will be B to C. So I think this is very straightforward. So whenever a submitter submits to, that's if a submitter who is A submits to B, who is the next line of approval, and then whenever the B submits, it goes to C. Now they said the approval flow will be B to C, then C is going to be like the final approval, since it's 2 level. So I'll click on this 2 level, then I'll click on this add one more. So with this, I would select choose an approval manually. Now you can basically, there are other options where you can select from. You can select a proof that the you can select that you want the next line of, after it must have gone through these 2 levels. Then I'm choosing, and I want to choose it to go to like a project head, or I want it to go to the project head of expense, right? But now I'm just choosing an approval manually, since I want it to just go to like a final approval. So I'll click on choose an approval manually, then select. Now here it is going to show me the users that have the approval rights in the system. So these are all the users that can be that has the approval rights, or that are created as an approval in the system. So I'll just click on this finance. So it means that whenever the submitter submits, it goes to 2 levels before going to a final approval, who is the finance department, or maybe a finance head, right? Then I'll click on save. So now I have successfully, created an approval flow for, expenses that is 100,000 and above. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Broidage Consulting, powering your business with smart digital solutions. From automation to analytics, we help you work faster, smarter, and better. Let's build the future together.